r/AskReddit, serious, what's the scariest fact you wish you didn't know? Boil your water before using it for a sinus rinse. If you will die because of murder, there's 80% chance you already know your killer. To me, that's the opposite of scary. If I don't have anyone close to me that can murder, my chances of being murdered drop by 80%. Removed. If a bear attacks, it won't kill you immediately, it'll just start eating. My dad said he wanted to die trying to fight a bear when he's ready, just walk out to the woods with honey in one hand and a knife in the other. Now I have an entirely different scenario in my head. I never thought he had a chance, but now I'm picturing a bear dipping his organs in honey. Brain aneurysms can happen to anyone, at any age, and most are fatal. Yep, knew a girl who was early teens who died of one. Went to bed with a headache, woke up and started getting ready for school and collapsed. She was airflown to a world-renowned hospital. We live in the city that it's in, but no amount of medical treatment could save her. In Philippines there's a dish called pagpag, which is anything edible that can be scavenged from the trash around the city, washed, recooked and sold in slums for prices people there can afford. This is 100% true. It's so gross. I've seen it done. I'm Filipino. You can become conscious during CPR/resuscitation efforts, to the point of moving and sometimes even violently reacting, but still not survive cardiac arrest. It's called CPR-induced consciousness. It's rare, but there are cases where patients have been aware enough to push caregivers away or tell them to stop CPR. Thank you for teaching me to avoid this. How often are parents involved in cases of child pornography? Most sex trafficking victims, especially children, are sold by family members. My town is built around the calderas of two massive supervolcanoes, one of which has produced two of the most powerful eruptions ever and had the alert level raised for the first time just over 12 months ago due to increased activity. When a hamstericide is fertilized with human sperm, a hamster link is created. Okay, that is genuinely WTF material, if only for the idea some scientist decided it was a great idea to crank one out in a petri dish with hamster ova. I'm with my friend reading this and you have single-handedly blown our minds while also completely ruining our nights. Thank you for this education. Have my upvote because that is totally WTF. In ancient Egypt, when a woman died, her family would sometimes wait a few days before having the body mummified because they wanted to wait for the body to decay enough to prevent necrophilia. Imagine doing all this only to have her dug up and made into tea in the Victorian times. I think my mum did that. I had to keep going while yelling sorry. And the operator was telling me to carry on. Thankfully, she survived, but that was the longest 15 minutes of my life. If you are 25 years old, approximately 1/3 of the world's population who were alive at the time of your birth, have since died. And what if you're like 47? The FBI estimates that there are 25 to 50 serial killers active in the US every day. Actually, there's only one. I'm just a hard worker. There's plastic in our blood. Now babies are born with plastic in their blood. And Teflon. Even if they've never eaten from it. Plastic particles are absolutely everywhere. It's in our food. It's in our water. It's in the ground. It's in our bloodstream. And nobody knows what the long-term effects are going to be, or how to reverse it. Stoneman syndrome, link, is a thing. This is like a bad X-Men mutation. You can change your body to be tough as stone, but it happens over a period of several years and is extremely debilitating and painful. Your body is constantly correcting DNA errors that have the potential to become cancer, and that potential greatly increases depending on lifestyle. Link, so much so that 1/2 link of all people will go on to develop some sort of cancer. Two Scottish doctors originally invented the chainsaw for childbirth. This conjures up a vision of doctors taking a modern chainsaw to a pregnant woman. That's not what was happening. During obstructed childbirth, before the modern C-section was practical, doctors developed a process of cutting the woman's pelvic bone to allow for childbirth. Originally this was done with a knife, but that took a large amount of time and was imprecise. The chainsaw was an improvement on this technique. The US military was expecting such high casualties for the invasion of mainland Japan in WW2, that all of the Purple Hearts, medals awarded for injuries in combat, used since have been leftovers made in anticipation for the invasion. I don't think this is true. I got a Purple Heart in 2004 and it doesn't look like the one my grandfather had in World War II. I've heard the stat, but I think it's a made-up one. Most interesting one so far, IMO. That prions exist. I hate being reminded of prions. The worst part is how difficult they are to kill. Normal sterilization techniques don't work. If someone with prions was operated on, and the tools were sterilized by normal means, the next person who has surgery with those tools could get prions from them. Everything about them is crazy. Sometimes cancer just happens. There's nothing anyone could have done to prevent it. This will sound morbid, but several years back I visited a classmate for her birthday, and her little brother, who hadn't even reached elementary school yet, was complaining of pain in his leg but was otherwise happy and energetic. Turns out he had a tumor in his leg. A little over a year later, I sat on a bench in the funeral home looking at the urn containing his ashes while listening to his eulogy. We are all getting cancer all the time. It's just that our immune systems keep curing it. Until they don't. Dogs like squeaky toys because they mimic the screams of their prey. Pretty sure my dog thought squeaky toys are puppies. She would tend to them trying to make them comfortable, and at the end would become very upset with how toys remain lifeless no matter what she does. On top of this, my cat brings me his toys every morning. Apparently that is because he thinks I am weak and unable to hunt, so he brings me his simulated prey. There's a tick that can make you allergic to meat. Red meat if you want to be more specific. The tick is called Lone Star tick and it causes you to develop alpha-gal syndrome. It can potentially be life-threatening, but symptoms may lessen or disappear over time. Usually lasts between 1 and 5 years if I remember correctly, just giving more info for the curious folk. The earliest possible end of the universe is 20 billion years from now, and it's likely more like trillions of years, possibly forever. The universe is only 13.7 billion years old. I bet it'll end on a Tuesday, too. There might be, in fact, there probably are, people I like, love and respect who are abusive to their partners and their children. When you get numbed up at the dentist, the needle goes a minimum of 1 into your gums. I was told that right as they were getting the injection ready, started having an anxiety attack. Yeah, our long needles are 32 mm, and depending on the type of injection we may have to use most of that, not too frequently though. Sorry they told you that right before doing it, what a dumb thing to say. I recall reading that people living longer is skewing the stats on cancer rates. Old people who haven't died of other diseases end up getting cancer. Most scientists who study cockroaches develop an allergy to cockroaches eventually. Simultaneously, they develop an allergy to ground coffee. Do the math. Cockroaches are made out of coffee. Disneyland's famous Pirates of the Caribbean ride used real skeletons. That's not all that scary. For a long time it was cheaper to purchase a real skeleton instead of plastic ones. The skeletons in the original Poltergeist were real as well for this reason. Edit. Also, fun fact. It's perfectly legal to sell, buy, and own human bones in the US. You can purchase some here in fact. Link. Pacemakers will still make noise in your chest long after you've died. Somewhat true. They can make noise, but doctors will deactivate them after officially declaring death by holding a strong magnet over the pacemaker. It's usually a magnet that is meant specifically for this purpose. Still crazy to think about though, that it can physically make a heartbeat but the person is technically dead. Humans invented surgery long before they invented anesthesia. Yep. I think I saw something about having extra doctors on board to restrain and gag soldiers during amputations, for example, getting shot in the leg. There is a waterborne, microscopic, brain-eating amoeba that can enter your body through your nose. It is found in fresh water and can be present at water parks and pools. It is fatal within about 5 days and there's no way to really test for it before it's typically too late. Survival is very unlikely. Link. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again. Reddit glitch out.